spacing is always going to be there because even though Klay misses, teams are going to guard if they have to. So really, it's just about making your missing shots. We kind of do what we do offensively and passing and cutting. And Klay is obviously critical to what we do because of when he's making shots, it really makes it tough on the defense because you know there's going to be a time to score.
Did you see what Scott Brady said about possible Klay Thompson trade with the Raptors?
Really?
Yeah.
Scal.
Brian hasn't called me yet, so if Brian wants to call, then I'll get Bob on the phone. Bob and I can pick his brain and figure out what we should do.
I know it's early in the season, but is it strange to you that players putting up huge numbers? Russ, Martin,
DeMar,
Davis, DeMar DeRozan. What would you say is the reason for this? Was this just?
I think more and more teams are playing faster than smaller. You saw last night, we could barely have 5 on the floor. Phoenix went too small. So the league's been trending in that direction for a while. I would say the last 10 years or so, since Suns with Nash and Stoudemire, D'Antoni, that group. The league's been trending in that direction. Cleveland won last year, playing before quite a bit. 3-point shooting everywhere. We won the floor doing the same thing. So more and more teams are doing it. And when you play small, it opens up the floor. Play faster, there's more shots. There's a lot of guys who are obviously
Back in the day, it used to be you would play a good defensive game if you know you're right now. What is that number now?
Yeah, that's a good question. For us, it's more based on efficiency. It's not how many points we give up. It's how efficient we are with points per possession, points per shot. Those are the numbers we look at. So I'm not really concerned about how many points. It's are we defending, are we forcing some tough shots, and are we creating better opportunities for ourselves?
how efficiency of the guy superstar big man?
Well, I think it seems like the trend is the superstar big guys will be more competitive for the settings. Davis, guys who can go down the block, but if they don't shoot threes, the young guys are growing up these days shooting threes. Most of them are not posting up. The other thing with the post game is that it takes time to develop a post game. It's not better to develop a post game on a 3-point shot. So, Tim Duncan did it, but it took him 4 years or 4 to really develop that post game to be ready. A lot of these young guys come into the league 1 year out of high school, and it's not enough time to develop a post game. So it's a tougher thing to master without a whole lot of time.
Steve, a few guys said that 5 o'clock tip was yesterday, and not as an excuse, but just odd bodies aren't used to that. Is that when you don't have a shoot around like that, does it maybe
It does. We found that in the finals the last couple of years. Obviously on the West Coast, it's 5 o'clock, whatever it is. And it is a different rhythm. It's a different routine to the day. We used to come in and do 10 o'clock shooting. It's no excuse, but you're asking me about it, so it's just it is a different rhythm, different routine, but you still have to come out and be ready to play.
Draymond said you can't expect energy from the crowd. Maybe bring energy that you need to as well. Is that something you observed?
I thought our defensive focus was nowhere to be found early in the game. The very first possession of the game, we didn't follow our principles. We tried to shortcut a couple things, and all of a sudden, Bledsoe gets a wide open 3, now he gets one. So we worked sharp, but I don't think that had anything to do with the starting team.
Defense still kind of like the new bodies. I know, in the back end, there was just Logan Payne back there, and Draymond had that great communication. Is that part of the defense right now, the process of new guys?
New players, new combinations, different combinations. It really is a both of us that we're kind of getting comfortable with one another. But we have the skill on offense to be mentored. Defensively, we don't have that kind of defensive talent. I don't know if anybody has the kind of defensive talent where you can not be on the same page. So we've got a lot of talented individual defenders, but to this point we haven't had 5 guys on the string consistently. We've had a few games of good efforts, but we're not where we need to be.
I feel like you need more of this game the next couple of seasons.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you look at the last 2 seasons, that team had already been together. When I arrived here, the previous year, we weren't the 4th in the league of defense. And so they already had their defensive style down. We didn't change anything about the defense. We had the same schemes. So there was already continuity. But this is a different group, different terminology. And so it's good to know.
There's so much talk about I've been seeing that's the first strong leadership game.
We've seen it in the last few games, so he's just been in a better rhythm. Maybe he hasn't had a chance to really shine because the last 2 games were relative low. Last night with the game on the line, he made some huge plays, but it's obvious to us that Sean is finding his groove and really
What do you think of McCaw last night? He had a couple interesting.
Well, he made a couple big threes for us, but more importantly, it's just the simple stuff that he does. The ball moves when he's out on the floor. He just catches it and moves it to the first open guy. He doesn't think. The offense never stops when he's on the floor. So it's great. It's a great addition. He's available. He's very good defensively too. So really happy with him. Huge play. KD fouled after that, but the block didn't surprise me. I mean, he's a long, versatile defender, athletic, and he's made plays like that in camp and in the preseason. So it's good to see it happen.
Steph has talked about not on a record, but right now he's still on track for 400.
Is he?
Yeah, I know it's early, but what's been working for him? Still getting that shot, even though he's with KD.
He's just in a good rhythm. He's still attacking and looking to shoot anytime he can. And that's what we wanted to do. But I think in camp he was biding his time. He was trying to get Kevin comfortable. I think now that Kevin is acclimated and playing at a really high level, I think Steph feels a lot more comfortable just looking for the shot and seeking it and not worrying about anything else.
When did you see things start to click for him?
Well, we had a great preseason game, the final game against Portland. We went nuts. And I think that was when he first, you could see the rhythm and the flow coming back to him. And since that time, I mean, he's had a couple bad games, maybe. The one in LA where he didn't make it through. But for the most part, I thought right at the end of camp was when he kind of found that rhythm.
Steve, the beginning of might have one of the biggest adjustments with KD. He's continued to create and screen and do maybe some of the unsung things. How impressed are you with the way he has sort of...
It's been amazing. I think Draymond has been phenomenal. I think I said this the other day, the second half of the Phoenix game in Phoenix, which was our 3rd game of the year, it seemed like something clicked. The first 2 games, there was some frustration. That 3rd game, it was like he just said, screw it, I'm just going to go play. And then he realized, oh yeah, when I go play, good things happen, and he's been amazing ever since. Just the competition, the ball handling, and playmaking, rebounding. And there's some games when he scores, some games when he doesn't. And what I love about what I've seen from the early part of the season is that he hasn't been that concerned when he's had a 4-point game. He's still getting these 10, 11 rebounds, 7 or 8 assists, a couple blocks. So Draymond's doing fantastic.
Have you talked to him about that and how you've handled this?
I talk to all my guys, just try to check in with them occasionally. And I just told Draymond, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. It wasn't much of a conversation. He's playing great.
Steve, I know you can mention that, but have a conversation with Klay.
Honestly, I didn't even think about it. I didn't know about it until just now. I think our guys know that stuff is almost always just BS. So if that became a story, yeah, I would probably talk to Klay. I didn't know it was a story until just now. So I'll go home and get on the internet and I'll decide whether to call Klay or not.
How tough is this?
How
How testing it'll be for you?
Yeah, it's coming at a great time. We're at a really good spot. We're leading 2 after 10 days. Very record. We've played better since the first week. We've played better. But the challenge gets bigger now. Playoff teams on the road, East Coast, time change and all that. So it's not going to be easy, but it's coming at a good time, and we're going to embrace it. What have you? McCaw reminds me of Andre. Not that much. I want JD before he takes off. Even though they have the same sort of length, Andre is a bigger, stronger body than McCaw, but the basketball awareness, the ability to just see plays before they happen, is very similar to that.
Zaza kind of